everybody, Chef K here. I'm out here in the area of the Chesapeake Bay, and we're gonna do some fishing today. I'm pretty excited about it. I was born in Missouri, raised in Italy. You guys know a little bit about that in my past. But today, I found out there's so much fun we can do here in Virginia. I love exploring the world. I love looking at different cuisine out there. But right here locally, we're out here for some striper and some rockfish. There's a kind of a title there, we don't know. We'll talk to Captain Mark about that. But right here on the boat, we're getting ready to head out. And we're gonna take you right from the boat, the fishing, hopefully we'll catch something so we don't go hungry, and then we're gonna take you right into my kitchen and show you how to prepare it. Also might be talking to my buddy Jeff, who's a fishmonger here locally, and if you can't get out on a boat like I'm doing today, talk to him and let him know what you need exactly. All right, so let's try this. Let's go out here and catch some fish. This is what we're gonna do on this episode of Forage to Feast. All right, we've shot up the bay. We are right out here in the Chesapeake Bay. I've got Captain Mark with Chesapeake Charters. He's my buddy today. He's gonna get us out here and get us on top of some fish. But I need to know, what is it you're thinking whenever you're like, or what are you looking for whenever you get us up here?
When we first come out in the bay, you look for what we say the birds working, or the bait fish in the water. If you find the bait fish and the birds working, the rockfish or striper are usually under them. This time of year though, it's the bait fish aren't here. We're trying to find the small fish hanging out on structure, like the wolf trap light here in the background.
Right,
They'll hang out on structure like that, the smaller ones. And of course you can use your equipment, your fish finder, depth finder, and find structure, find the fish, and try and catch them. But we're gonna try and catch some small ones today. If we can find some birds or bait fish, we'll try and get on some bigger ones.
Awesome. I hear one down there calling my name, Chef K. I am dinner. Num num num. Here we go. All right, we're gonna try to get some. We'll be back in just a little bit. Okay, so we have a plethora of all kinds of lures you got brought out here for us. What is happening? We're getting ready to do what you call trolling now.
Trolling, yeah.
We've done the structural fishing.
Yeah.
So we caught a few, we're on there, had a great day. The weather just keeps getting more beautiful. And so now we're doing this trolling. Explain to me what we're doing, other than my new earrings that I got going here. But explain to me what we're gonna do here.
Yeah, we're getting ready to troll for some rockfish. There's a ton of different ways to fish for rockfish, but we're gonna try trolling now. The poles, a couple of them are set up here in the holster. The most common lure out here is this. This is what they feed on.
Right.
It's like a bunker, a shad.
Yeah, that was like the bait fish
that keeps getting wiped out in the bay around here.
Okay.
And another little lure over here. In the season, during the middle of the winter time, the big females feed on eels. These are for pulling for eels. So they'll ride through the water on an angle. You can run like 6 off of each side, and you drag eels behind them like 20 feet of water and try and catch the big fish. But right now the big fish aren't in right now, so we're not gonna go for those. We're gonna try and get the medium sized ones.
So this like imitates an eel.
No, it drag the reel behind. What happens is this is staying on the surface and going further. The more line you let out, the further it goes from the base. That way you can stage them and get like 6 of them on each side. When you're trolling out.
Yeah.
And then trolling right now.
The big ones are like, I got that eel.
Oh, they love eels.
Oh,
yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And other than that, we'll run these trolling poles. We troll about 2 miles an hour. Mackerel and the other fish in the bay are faster, about 7 miles an hour.
How deep are we going now?
These set them at different levels. What happens is these wireline poles will be down on the bottom, and then these will be about halfway through the water column. Sometimes we pull like 6, 8, 10 poles, and you try and cover the water column. And if they all start feeding at 10 feet, then you gear up and put all your lines at 10 feet. So you want to get a nice spread and cover the water column till you find them.
So, and we're going to jump on it through this sea. We're going to see it.
You'll see it. Yep.
You'll start hearing the line run, or we?
Sometimes, but you will see the pole bend. You'll know it's a fish. It won't be like
fish on.
It won't be. Yep. It won't be like the fish we're catching. These are bigger.
So
fish.
Brian and I are each watching 2 here. Crazy Brian, my buddy.
Yep.
And we watching 2 of these guys.
Yep.
And we're gonna catch some fish.
Yes, for sure. Yep.
That's what I'm thinking. So it's time for us, guys. We're gonna go out here and do a little trolling now. Are you ready? I'm ready.
I'm ready.
This is like surfing, though, right? Like surfing trolling. Very nice. So this is my first trip out to the New Point Comfort Lighthouse. How about you? You been out here?
I've been out here before.
Did you catch anything?
Actually, last time I was out here, there was a pod of porpoises out here, and it was just amazing watching them running around, playing, frolicking. It was really an amazing time. But fishing this area, I have not fished this before. This is my first time.
Okay. Well, you did hear what our if we don't catch fish, you did hear what we're having for dinner, right?
I heard about that, yeah. So we've really got to get some fish in the boat.
Pressure is on. Well, we're going to catch some today. I feel it. Pressure's on you, Brian. Maybe I should start talking to him about how I'll put them in a nice bed of spinach with a little some link sauce, a little garlic. Come over to my place for dinner. Chef K's, Mr. Striper.
Hey, Captain Mark out here trying to catch some fish in Chesapeake Bay. Quick description on where we're at out here. Back behind me on this side here, we got Virginia Beach, probably 30 miles. To the right of me up the bay, we got the Potomac, up that way about 30 miles. So that puts us right in the middle. On the back side here, coming offshore, about 8 miles offshore. And if you go to the back side over here, that's Cape Charles, which is probably about 7 miles across. So that puts us in the middle there. So you're kind of dead smack in the middle of the bay. And what we're doing is trying to catch some of these little rockfish. The big ones have cleared out. They're gonna start coming into spawn soon. But for now, we're gonna try and catch a couple of these small ones.
Here we go.
Oh, there we go.
Hey, hey, hey. Here we go.
It was your turn.
All right.
Look at there.
All right. There we go.
All right. Fish in the boat.
There's dinner.
Fish on.
Oh, there it is. There it is, bud. We're gonna let me get out of the way. Here we go. That's right.
Looks like a striper.
Right here. Oh, nice. Bring it in.
All right.
Yeah. There we go. We got some fish. We are ready. We are excited now. We got that first few hooks. Now we are in. Hook, line, and sinker. So we have had a great day out here. We have had a lot of fun. I'm here with Captain Mark, and guess where I am now? I'm down here in his galley. This is his kitchen. It's a really nice new stove I see you've got here. It's fancy, right? So I also noticed that I came down here, and this is, I understand this is the gourmet of the Chesapeake Bay fishermen.
Yes, it is.
So, yeah?
All boats in the bay
Vienna
carry
sausage,
that.
Everybody. A little saltine cracker.
That's what it is.
Yep. Throw some Vienna sausage in there. Well, that is interesting. But we did catch fish tonight, so we do not have to come over with a casserole with this, right?
No.
We're not going to do this. And I do notice, can you pass me that there? This one has some high quality Cheetos. Now, these Cheetos, this goes with this as well, or just the saltine cracker? This is your amuse bouche before you get to that.
Ah, there you go.
There you go. Okay, well, we're not going to have the Viennas today because I happen to notice Captain Mark was hiding something from me here. This is a jar. What's in this jar? Talk to me about it.
This jar is actually, it's smoked spotfish and rockfish, mackerel in here. What we did was
Spanish mackerel.
the Spanish mackerel. What we did is you smoke it first, and then I put it in the jar, and then pressure cook it. And so when you eat this way, it's just like canning it, but you can eat the bone and all when you do this. You don't have to pick through it. So it's like eating a can of tin.
Like with salmon sometimes.
Yeah, it's like canned salmon.
Absolutely.
Actually, it's like canned mackerel that you buy at the store. Same thing, except for this is smoked and
Except
fresh.
this is Captain Mark's canned
Right.
mackerel. So you got this right out of here.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
This is right from here. And I get to try some of it, right? So I'm ready. Hang on. I'm ready. Now, does the Cheeto, that's the amuse bouche that goes with it?
This amuse bouche goes with it.
Oh, man. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it's like,
Okay.
like
So we're
the
sending off
saltiness
for
makes
like,
you
how
keep
many
eating
more
it.
jars are we sending off for here? That you're gonna
I
get?
got like 20 jars.
Very good. That's delicious. I like it. I love that saltiness.
That's what it is.
And you've kind of been out today in the sun. You've kind of been like, we're filling in a little bit. We've been on, had our sea legs. So that saltiness really like brings it to, I'm kind of salty anyway. Salty Chef K, right?
Yep.
Yeah, a little crazy, a little everything. And then we got our Cheetos. So, now we're gonna go home. So we've had a good day. We've got a few striper. We ended up with a trout. We ended up with some things. So what a good day.
Yeah, it's a good
How
day.
about a Cheeto bump? Bink bong. All right, guys, let's talk about it. We'll see you. Now we're gonna go to my kitchen and show you how to cook this up. Hey everybody, Chef K here. Well, we started out making a nice show, showing you fishing on the boat out there, going for some nice striper sea bass right here in my local area in Virginia. And then we were ready to bring it to the kitchen, but some things went a little haywire. So we had a lockdown. We've got everything together now. We're trying to stay safe. I hope you're all staying safe out there. We're going to do things just a little different. We're doing a Chilean sea bass. We got a hold of a really nice piece. So you're going to be able to cook that with me in the kitchen. And we're going to bring it to you still. Everybody's staying safe. Hope you're safe. Now it's time to continue with Chef K's Forage to Feast. Hey, Chef K here. So I'm back at the kitchen and we're ready to cook up that Chilean sea bass. We were starting with striper, but we talked about that. We've changed it up a little bit because we're in the season. After everything happened, we're doing the Chilean sea bass. So the first thing I want to show you, all of this, the methods will be exact same. Once you get that striper, you can do the same methods. But look at this piece. Oh my goodness. It's just beautiful. You can see that. See how it's nice and moist across there. You don't want a piece that's dried out. You don't want any of that. You want to see a really nice piece of skin. Look at that. Oh my goodness gracious. You can just see how that's ready to be in that skillet, seared up, crispy as can be. Crispy, crispy. But the first thing we're gonna do is we got a nice caper sauce, my signature caper sauce that we're gonna put with that. So we're gonna go ahead and make that while we let this just kind of sit for a little bit. You wanna pull it out of the fridge and make sure that you're letting it sit and kind of get a little bit, 15, 20 minutes, because you want to, whenever you cut it, slice it, portion it, it's going to get a nice even cook when you pan sear it. So we're going to come back to it. We're going to let it sit just and, you know, chillax. Think about that sauce that's coming soon, and we'll get ready for it. So we're putting together this sauce. This is the caper sauce, and it's one of my signature ones. We like to have some tomatoes, some capers, some white wine. Oh yes. I always cook with wine, and actually sometimes I even actually put it in the food. Today we will. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna pour a little glass, just, you know, quality control, just checking. Salute. That is perfection. So this is a nice, Ecco di Mani is the Italian imported wine. It's not too hard on the budget. You want to make sure it's the same thing you're going to drink that you want to cook with. You don't want to use something that you're not like down with sitting down and having a glass up. So we're going to start out our sauce with some wine, some capers, some cream, some chicken broth, some tomatoes. Put all that together here as we crank up our sauce, and then make it just a really nice silky smooth and finish it off with some butter. Everything's better with a little butter, right? All right, let's get our fire going. So we're going to get that on. I'm going to turn it to a little bit of a medium-high heat. There we go. So we're going to let our skillet heat up a little bit. Here's those capers. Yeah. And then we've got our tomatoes, which I've already pre-chopped just a little bit. Tomatoes. Who doesn't like that? We've got a little bit of olive oil we're going to kick it off with, and then we finish it with the butter. Butter with the butter. Okay. So our skillet's getting hot. I'm going to take just a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, start it off. So we've got our tomatoes, we got our capers, and then we're just going to start off while we're heating up our pan with a little bit of garlic. I'm going to chop a little bit of that just to get those nice flavors in there. I mean, you can't really, you know, growing up in Italy, there's not really a dish I can make, maybe other than ice cream, that I don't put garlic in. I'm just saying. So we're going to get a nice chop on that. We got our pan heating up, we got our oil heating up. And then we're going to go ahead and throw this garlic in. So that's what we're going to kick it off with, and we're going to bring the capers. Now when you use the capers, you don't want to over salt your bass. You want to make sure that you know that this caper juice and these capers are going to bring a saltiness, a brine to that a little bit. So you don't want to use too much salt. But we'll get to that when we salt it right before we pan sear it. It's just going to be a little touch. Here goes our garlic, and we're throwing that in the pan. Pan's ready? Yeah, look at that. Nice. So the garlic is getting a sizzle to it. And we're going to bring in those capers. Here they go. Just a little bit of that first. Nice. Oh yeah. Whoop, got a little flamage. That's okay, we like it. Here we go. Now we're going to put a little bit of the tomato in there. And then we come in with our wine. There you go. Nice. Now I got just a little bit of chicken broth here. We're going to slow that down so we don't get too much smoke going. And then we've got a little bit of our creamer. Beautiful. We're going to let that simmer up. And while that's simmering, I'm going to get a few things ready here that we're just going to bring in that butter. You remember that, right? So we're going to go ahead and bring that in. Just getting a nice cook on it. Simmer it up a little bit. Get our whisk. Beautiful. And then the butter, like I said, that's going to bring that silkiness to it. So we actually want to remove it from the heat. Perfect. Now we got a simmer on it. let it do it. It's gonna cook a little bit of that wine out of there as well. You got your wine, you got your chicken broth, you got your capers, you're ready to roll. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get ready to do a skillet sear on this sea bass, this Chilean sea bass. We're gonna do just a pan sear to it. So we're gonna set this aside and have it ready to roll when we're ready to plate up on what we wanna do. I like to serve this today. I'm gonna do just a little bit of blanched asparagus and a little bit of brown rice. Now you can use garlic mashed potatoes, put a little bit down. You can use a little bit of farro, any of the grains that you enjoy, go for it. It's your dish, it's your taste buds. I say play with it, have some fun. Right now we're gonna bring this off the heat. I'm just gonna put a little towel here and set that right on there. Heat goes off. Oh boy, here we go. Bringing in the butter, bringing it to the party. Are you ready? Look at that. Nice. Getting that silkiness now. We just want to do a little bit of a pat at a time. And so you've got all those flavors. I mean, I can smell the capers. I wish you could smell it there, but you will when you're trying it at home. It is delicious. And the best thing about this, you do a little bit of this, it highlights that fish. It doesn't overpower it. But then whenever you're done, then you sneak in the kitchen and you dip the bread in it and go for it. Yeah, baby. So we're gonna just let that go. Look at that. That is beautiful. Look at that, nice. It will just be sitting over here waiting for our sea bass. We're gonna set it aside and we're gonna get ready to bring the main dish to the party. Okay, so now we've got our sea bass, this beautiful piece. We're gonna cut it in, like a smaller portion, what we want everybody to be able to have. So that's kind of up to you. We're gonna just cut them into our portions, just like so. 1, 2, 3. Just wanna make sure you're getting through the skin there. So you might wanna just kind of hug it, let the knife just go its way through. Perfect. Yes. All right. It's giving me a little bite. I can handle it though. I can handle it. And that's our portion that we're going to talk about. Now, this is about 1 inch or a little about 1.5 inches, 1 inch thick. What you want to make sure that you're doing is you go, they say about 7 to 8 minutes per inch. So that's where we're going to go. Now we want to get our skillet ready for that. And I love cooking with some cast iron. Oh yes. So we're going to bring that to the stove and start getting a little bit of heat on it. While we're doing that, we're going to get a little sea salt and sprinkle over both sides of this. But first, I'm going to actually pull out the paper towels. We want to make sure that we're getting that patted dry because we want it to immediately start searing. So we're going to tap that, get it patted dry perfectly, and then have it ready to roll for us. We're going to fire it up. A little salt. All right, got my salt right here. Just bring a little bit of that. Oh yeah, look at that. Da, da, da. Next side, a little bit of salt. Oh yeah. All right, that's going to be ready to roll. Now, see how that's ready? That's going to actually, so when we actually put that down into the oil, it's going to get that nice sear without letting moisture only absorb your oil. So it's going to be nice and crispy. That's what we want. Okay, so we're going to put some fire on again. Here we go. A little bit of oil. We're going to let that oil kind of spread around there. Talk to it. Tell it to be good. Look at it spreading around nicely. Very good. And then we're going to do another little trick while we're waiting on that to get heated up. I've got a little bit, I'm going to cheat, a little bit of cooking spray. It's kind of an oil. We're going to just spray that down just a little bit because we're going to flatten this out. Once we get that piece in there, we're going to flatten it out and let it kind of get a good flat sear to adhere to the skillet bottom itself. So while we're letting that do that, we're going to move some of this out of my way. Butter. Very good. It's looking like it's getting a nice sear now. Nice olives. Now, there's a way to test it. We just want to see. We don't hear that quite yet. You really want that sizzle, so I'm going to let it just go up just a bit. While we're heating it up, like I said, I've got asparagus, I got the brown rice. We're going to start going ahead and looking at what we've got to plate up. We'll have this dish because this will go quick. Once we're done with this guy, we're going to bring that rice over here while it's kind of finishing up in the skillet. We're going to get our asparagus there, and then you remember the caper sauce? We all remember the caper sauce, right? So it's coming right on top of that to make this a beautiful, elegant dish that all your family is almost like, what? Did we just eat at a 4-star, 5-star restaurant? I think we did. So here we go. You hear that? Yeah, we've got that pan sear. Okay, I like it. So we're gonna get that on there, fire it up. And then we're gonna take, this was the trick, remember? We're gonna take the other skillet and just kind of put some weight down on there. Oh, there it is. Music to our ears. You hear that? You do that, you get a little bit with that. Hear that sizzle? Oh yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so we're gonna get that pan sear on there. Remember, make sure you oil the bottom so you don't. You can kind of look in there and see how the fish itself, when you set it down in the hot oil, it will start to kind of shrivel up immediately, the skin does. So while we're letting that just kind of stay there for a minute, I'm gonna move this out of the way and we'll start talking about what we gotta do to finish it up. So like I said, you wanna go about 7 to 8 minutes per inch. So this guy's a little bit over an inch, so we're looking at making sure that the bottom gets really crispy, and then it will tell you when it's ready. Don't try to rush it. It will tell you when it's ready. So what we're gonna do is lift it up. Right now we've let that skin, see how that did that? And you get a nice little bit of steam there. Now we're gonna let that just kind of sear a little bit. And we're gonna move this guy. Very good. So we got our dish ready. While that's finishing cooking up, don't rush it. Make sure that it tells you when it's ready. And you can see that it's starting to do its own thing. It will begin to release. Now, Chilean sea bass and striper have a very almost buttery flavor to themselves, just a slight bit. So adding a little lemon and this caper sauce really highlights that. And of course, a little wine, which is what we're gonna do while we're waiting on it to tell us it's ready. We're also gonna get our rice ready. We're gonna put that in. Now, not everybody has these at home, but I'm going a little fancy today. We're gonna get our brown rice ready. Make sure that we're putting it in here. And I just had some fun today to get fancy. You don't have to do these. Just throw a little bit of the rice in your dish, the potatoes in your dish. Plate them up nicely. It'll work perfectly. Nice. It's starting to talk to us. I've got my handy dandy spatula here. As you can see, this is a fish spatula. It's a little bit thinner. See, look at that pop. You see that? That's about to tell me that it's about ready. Get a little more fan on there. My kitchen is a little small, so I try to make sure we keep that smoke out of here. There we go. So we've got it. It's pan searing. You see how it's going right there? It has basically told me it's almost ready. The idea is we want to get it about 2/3 cooked on the way up, all the way up the fish itself. So you can kind of see how it's starting to get a little opaque in there. That's looking good. So once it gets to a certain point, we're going to then flip it and you'll see that crispy skin. And that'll be how we do our next part. Let's see where we are on this. Might be looking good. Oh yeah, beautiful. Look at that crispy skin. That is perfect. That's what we want. Now we're gonna go ahead and let that cook the next way through. Just about, you can almost see that it is opaque there. And that's what you're looking for. So we've almost got it where we want it. Now it's just gonna finish up. It did that 2/3 of the way through. Now we just crisp up the top there. And And then we can actually use our tongs to come in and grab it. So while we're doing that, I'm actually going to put a little bit of our sauce on our rice. Kind of have a little fun with it. You guys can do whatever you want. You remember, I tell you, it's your taste buds, so you go for it. So we're going to put a little of that sauce on there, and then we're going to get ready to bring the fish over, and then our asparagus, and we're going to lay that in. Now with the asparagus, I just did a quick blanch. All you got to do, easy, easy. All you got to do is take it, put a little bit of ice water set aside, put some salt in the ice water, put some water in your pan, get it good boiling, drop it down in there, give it like 2 or 3 minutes. Once you get that, pull it out, put it in your ice bath. That's important. That's how it keeps this beautiful green color. You don't want it to get kind of that dingy green. It's gonna pop for you. This guy's, look at this. Oh, speaking of pop, he just popped right off. There, that, oh my, that's looking nice. I like it. So we're just gonna make sure we're not got too much heat on it. And this is the perfect pan-seared fish. Now what we're gonna do is when we bring this over, we're gonna put that sauce on there and we're gonna do a little lemon zest. Really pop it out. And then we're gonna actually use some lemon juice. So let me get my knife ready for that. A little rinse here. Make sure you're not using the one you were using for the raw fish. This was my vegetable knife. So we actually have that set for it. So we're gonna pull that off the heat. As you can see, there is plenty of heat here. That's gonna finish crisping that up really nicely. And you can see that fish. Oh, oh, oh. I'm getting hungry. I don't know about you, but I am. So here we go. We're gonna just bring this here. I'm gonna get a nice cut on this lemon. Get ready for the finished product. I'm gonna pull that. Then, here we go. You guys ready to see this? With this beautiful piece of fish. Oh, golden brown. Look at that. That's the way you lay it right in there. Oh my goodness gracious. Yes, indeed. So now, we're gonna put in a little bit of our asparagus. That's how much ever you want to use. Just kind of make it pretty there. Stand it up. Got a little lemon zest. Got a zester. You know, back in the day, the zesters, they were those little things like they used as the bartenders and did those. Now we got this guy right here. It makes life a lot easier. I'm just telling you, it's one of the handy dandy K-hacks. That's what I'm saying. You want to use this up? Zest it. Look at that. Look at that lemon zest going on there. That's going to pop it out for you just a little bit more. And we're going to come with, yeah, you guessed it, the sauce. So here it goes. This is your caper, tomato sauce. Lay that in around this. Look at that. Right in around there. So it gets on your rice. So you've got a little flavor to that. Lay in some of those capers right in there. Look at, oh my goodness gracious. I'm excited. I don't know. I hope you guys are. You guys dancing off the couch yet? Because it's time for you to try this. We're going to do it right here. We're going to finish it off with just a little bit of fresh squeezed lemon. There it is. And that is how you put together a beautiful Chilean sea bass dinner with a little bit of caper sauce. Look at that. Are we ready to dig in? I think we are. Let's try it. A little bit of sea bass, a little bit of white wine. You want to take a bite. Oh, the crispiness. I just hear it actually break in there. I've got gotta get some of that tomato. Look at that rice. You gotta get the perfect bite, right? Right, the perfect finish with a little bit of wine. That's how you do it. That's how you make some Chilean sea bass. Right here, I showed you. Do it at home. Let me know what you think. Welcome. Thank you for being here. First episode of Chef K's Porridge to Feast. Let's keep it going.